Hey, Marcus. Hey, Shyra. Welcome to the His and Her Money Show.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
Hey.
Thanks for having us.
We're super duper glad to have you guys on the show. You all have an amazing story of paying off an amazing amount of debt. And so we can't wait for you all to be able to share that with everybody that is tuned in. But before we do all that, can you take a moment and introduce yourselves to everybody and let them know what you are all about?
Okay, so my name is Shyra Murray, and I am a wife and a mother of two wonderful children. During the day, I am a nutrition educator at a local university, and we reside in Northern California.
My name's Marcus, and I am currently working at a blood bank here in Northern California, and that's my full-time job. I also am a musician at a local church here in my area. I also am a part of an online music business, shameless plug, gospelmultitracks.com, where we provide music for churches that don't have musicians and things like that. So, yeah, that's a bit about myself.
Great concept. We're going to talk about that a little bit later because I'm sure that's probably a side hustle that you guys are doing, right? Okay, so we'll definitely talk about that. But let's talk about the debt that you guys had. How much debt was it? What type of debt was it? And how long did it take you to pay it off?
Yeah, so we had approximately $110,000 worth of debt, and we were able to pay that off in about 2.5 years.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, you heard
Hold
that right.
on. Wait a minute. Let me get my calculator out. Wait a minute here. Say that one more time.
Okay, so we were able to pay off $110,000 worth of debt, and we did it in about 2.5 years.
Whoa. We're going to have to get into that, but continue on.
Okay. So we incurred a lot of debt early on in our marriage. So that was a condo that we purchased, and I had about $30,000 in student loan debt and credit card, and is that about it?
Credit card, student loan. Yeah, that's pretty much, that was the bulk of our debt. Student loans and house, credit card, so.
Yeah.
So what you all said is not abnormal. Student loans, credit card, condo, it's something that most people have. But at some point for you all, something clicked and you said that although this is typical, most people have a student loan, credit card payment, and a mortgage, you all said, I don't want to live this life. I want to live something different. What caused you all to even begin to think about paying off all this debt?
Well, I mean, I think we were just in the rat race of paying our bills and, just kind of getting by. Me, I just thought that's what life was you had those bills, you would make the minimum payments, and, eventually, you would find it would pay them off. But it came a point where I think what it was is when we started having our children. When I had my son, I started reevaluating things, and there was a point where financially, we weren't bringing a lot of money in, and, we were kind of struggling even to make the minimum. So, that kind of started us saying, we need to educate ourselves financially. We started, doing that. And that's kind of what triggered it for me was when we had our children. I said, you know what, we got to figure this out. We can't because if we keep doing it like the current way we're doing it, it's not going to work out for us. So, that was a big kind of eye opener for me.
Yeah.
So talk about the conversation, because I'm sure you probably both didn't come to this at the same time. Like, hey, we have this great idea. So one of you probably thought about it and you approached the other spouse. Talk about that conversation that you had.
Yeah. So the first conversation that we had, I would consider it our rock bottom.
Right.
And that was when we had more bills than we had income. And thankfully, we had some savings, and that savings kind of helped us to get over the hump at that time. And shortly after that, I re-entered the workforce because I had stopped working after the birth of our first child. And when we had that additional income, we didn't adjust our lifestyle.
Right.
So we didn't say, let's go buy a new car, or let's upgrade the condo for something bigger, for something better. And we started to crunch the numbers, And we found that we were able to actually live off of Marcus's income and all his side hustles. That was able, that was enough for us to meet our financial obligations. And so we started to throw my income at the debt. And so that's what kind of got us jump started to paying everything off.
And going back a little bit, like I said, we began to educate ourselves financially. So we would listen to different, money gurus and stuff like that. We would just pick a little from each one. And they also served as inspiration. That's kind of how we started the conversation. Like, man, we want to do this too. So let's really set this goal of, cutting off all the debt and going back to the side hustles and stuff. My mindset was I need to increase the income any way I can. So let me do this little thing here. Let me try to come up with this business idea and whatnot, because I wanted to increase the income so that we could use just her income for debt. So that was kind of the goal or the strategy, I guess.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people on their journey to debt freedom, they kind of hit a roadblock when they hear us talk about side hustles and they're like, man, what can I do? I'm not good at anything, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. For you took it on as a personal mission because you wanted to figure out a way for you all to be able to live and maintain your lifestyle based on just one income. So talk about your process of figuring out the type of side hustles that you could do, and then talk to us about the side hustles that you came up with, because somebody listening might be able to glean some ideas from you all.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll talk about my process of re-entering the workforce, and then I think you can expound on some of the things that you were able to do. So I had a baby, and then I got pregnant again really quickly.
That's our story.
Yeah. And so, I was on Craigslist. It's hard for me to sit still. And I was maybe 5 months or so pregnant, and I saw this job and I said, man, this would be my dream job if I wasn't pregnant. But I said, you know what, I'm going to apply anyway. And I don't recommend this for people, but what I did was I bought a big blazer. I tucked in this baby. I put a girdle on, and I tucked that baby in and I went in there and I got the job, so I was able to re-enter the workforce, and that was helpful at the time. And so,
yeah, as far as side hustles, I'm a musician, and I said, well, what can I do to use that, use the gifts that God has given me to, supplement income. Now, I was already playing at church, at my local church and everything. So that was some income that I had coming in just from, they blessed me for, helping the music ministry there. And I was able to partner with online company that does tracks for churches that don't have musicians. Mm-hmm. So from home, I was able to produce and create this music where we pretty much carbon copy popular songs, and the profits are split amongst the artists, myself, and the partner that I partner with. So the more you hustle in that, the more income you could potentially make. So I just really got serious about it, and just dedicated any off time from my secular job I dedicated to this. So that the ceiling was kind of, there was no ceiling on that. So I just kind of hustled as hard as I could to bring in as much as I could. And, it's just tapping into whatever your gifts are. Everybody's gifts are different.
Yeah, that was something I was going to say. It sounds like that your side hustles that you guys chose to do is something that you love doing anyway. So I love that. But Shyra, once you got the job and they found out you was pregnant, were they like, okay, did they ask questions? Like, oh.
Yeah, so over the weekend, I popped. Like, my body already knew what to do. So I expanded, and so I did get a couple of side eyes, but it is what it is. And they cannot discriminate against you because of pregnancy. There are laws against that. So I just use the law for my advantage. And so it ended up working out, and it was a great experience. And I got in, and I really worked hard. And so when I had to take maternity leave, it wasn't an issue.
Now, you guys were in the midst of a hustle season. That's what we like to call it, your hustle season. So Shyra re-enters the workforce. Marcus is working a day job plus a bunch of side hustles, not to mention you guys are newly parents. That is a whole lot of moving pieces. Okay. We love to tell people to hustle because you're just doing it for a season so you can get out of debt quicker. But talk to us about how communication must have had to take place heavily for you all not to lose yourselves, not to get disconnected while you all are hustling hard to get out of debt.
Yeah. So when we decided to go on this debt-free journey, one of the good things about our relationship is that we're friends first, and we were friends first before we, even started dating. We were friends for a while, and we've been married for 10 years. And so just having that history, allowed us to connect better, to reach this goal. One of the things, about Marcus is that he works a night job, and because he works nights, we don't see each other a lot, and it's just something that comes with the territory, but we do find time to connect. And when it comes to our finances, we do find time to talk about, what our goal is. And when we're on the journey to, check in to see where we are, where are we, and are we going in the right direction? Are we being disciplined in our spending, and we just kind of, we were accountable to each other. And definitely communication is a difficult thing, but, just try to be, respectful of each other. We are two different individuals, but we have the same goal, and so we definitely kept that in mind.
Yeah, communication was huge. Like how she said, with us having off shifts, which actually the off shift thing was kind of strategic too, because we were able to save on daycare.
Yeah.
So that was a blessing. So right, right. Yeah. So like how she said, just the communication and going back to something, just when you're talking, you're sometimes you're on different wavelengths with your partner. So just having that understanding. Shyra is very, she likes to vision cast, and like she likes goals, and she likes, so what are we doing after this? Okay, but now after that, then what? Whereas me, I'm more about, I'm handling this now. I kind of get tunnel vision, whatnot. So we know our different personalities, so that helped too. With the conversations and things like that.
So now I heard you mention that you guys lived off one income and took the other income to throw at debt. Was there any other strategies that you guys put in place in order to knock out this debt a whole lot sooner, besides the side hustles and the other job?
Yeah, well, we did listen and glean a lot from Dave Ramsey, and as far as the baby steps, we didn't go verbatim, but we paid off the smallest debts first, the credit card debts, and then we, rolled that over into student loans. And then we began to, after we got that done, we began to chew at the mortgage. And we just, it was kind of just like, we just hit one at the other. And we took time. I think it's important to take time to celebrate each time you make a payment, or each time you're done with this and with that, because it keeps you motivated. So that was one of the strategies. Shyra, was there any?
Yeah, that's basically what we did.
Yeah.
We got really excited about each payment. Yeah.
Right.
Talk about how you all would celebrate when you all would knock out something. What would you all do to kind of celebrate that moment?
Do you really want to know?
Right.
No. Okay. So what? So Marcus, we would save for a couple months, right. And then Marcus would like screenshot, what was in the bank, and say, can I make this payment? Right. And then sometimes I'm like, hold off, or right. Go ahead. And okay, there's a song. I don't know if it was the 90s or if it was in the 2000s, but back in my worldly days, there was a song by Ludacris called Dropping Bones, dropping bones on him. You know that song? So we would play that song.
Right.
Bows, yeah. So we would, play a song and just get hyped, right. And, just celebrate each step.
Right.
That's awesome.
Now, I heard you guys mention that you also started to pay off the mortgage, and now you're mortgage free. Like, that's amazing. How does that feel, to be able to own a place where your children can come and nobody can take it from you?
Wait a minute, your house is paid off too?
Yeah.
Yes.
And you guys are not playing no games.
Now, here's the cool thing, though, is that we jumped in the market right after the crash. Mm-hmm. So we really lucked out. I mean, there was a point in time we were just married, and it was when the market was just going crazy, 05, 06. And I thought, I'll never own a home. Like that's just, I had just said, we're just going to live in apartments. This is going to be our life, because the market was crazy. But, unfortunately the crash, came, but we were able to kind of dive in right after that. And here in California, we were blessed to get our house at a very affordable rate. So, we were a little fortunate in that, but we just attacked it because we said, well, if we were blessed and we were able to get in with it at this price, why play with it? Why go through the 30-year process when realistically we should be able to knock it down faster? So we just went full head with it. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. How does that feel?
It feels good. It's very freeing.
Every time you open that door, and you come into your home.
Right. The house just, and it's a starter home. It's a what you could call a condominium. It's, or a townhome, but yeah, it's paid off.
Does your credit score have you down and looking for solutions? You may just find the answers you're looking for with Credit Sesame. Credit Sesame is your solution for a free no-hassle credit score, credit analysis, and tips for managing your money. They are here to help you take control of and have the tools you need to bring about a bright financial future. Get empowered today. There's no credit card required. Receive identity theft protection up to $50,000 and discover a marketplace for credit and loan officers that will help you get to your next level. Visit hisandhermoney.com/credit sesame for more details.
Now, along the way, guys, you guys did, 6 figures worth of debt in 2 years is insane. It's incredible. It's amazing. I'm sure that along the way that some obstacles had to pop up. This couldn't have been all just peaches and cream from start to finish. Talk to our audience about some of the obstacles that arose and how you guys were able to overcome them and continue to move forward.
Yeah. So one of the obstacles was just, accepting the different mindsets that we had. So Marcus, he kind of had that tunnel vision, and I was already, I worked the numbers, and in my mind, it's like, oh, it's already done. What are we going to do next? So just, just being respectful of each other's perspective of where we were financially. And also I moved into another position, and it's out of town, and it required me to commute. So we ended up making a car purchase. We were able to purchase it cash, but we had to use some of our savings. So that kind of, took a couple months off of, our goal. Mm-hmm. And then you had something.
Yeah, it's like I said, we got a starter home. So, my friends and coworkers and just people in general, you see them buying these beautiful houses, and you're like, hold on, wait a minute. Yeah. But that was a big struggle for me because I would show Shyra, hey, look at this house. We like to visit open houses in our area. It's like, man, we could afford this. We just want to stop where we're at. We did all right. Let's just stop here. But that wasn't what our heart was telling us to do. That was just kind of side noise that, you have to block out when you're really trying to focus on a goal. So that was a struggle for me. Definitely.
Love it. So walk us through that moment when you guys paid off that last payment to that mortgage company.
Yeah, we really just wanted to go into the bank and drop bows on them.
Did Ludacris come with y'all, or?
Yeah, we wanted to go in with like a bunch of pennies and just like take this. But it's funny because we paid all our bills online, so we wanted to go in and just kind of finalize and close it out. But there's so many steps with that last payment. It's like they want to keep you there so bad. You got to go through this step and that step. But we were able to, get it done. And we mailed a cashier's check. And we were at the post office just kind of like, celebrating it. Like, this is it, and the timing was perfect because it was Juneteenth weekend. And we thought that was very special because, it celebrates the freedom, your slaves being freed, and it's like we were being free from this debt slavery. So we were excited about that, and it was like really good timing. So we were really excited that day. So,
yeah.
You know what? Let's talk about that. I don't think that we've ever asked that question ever on our show, YouTube.
This is an
podcast,
exclusive?
but But how does that feel being an African American and you can actually say that you're debt free?
Man, I think it's awesome because, that's kind of what we talk about a lot is like family wise, historically, like we don't talk about finance. Like my parents, I had two parents, I was blessed with, 2-parent family. Like they never talked finance. We were never taught finance, so that's something that we just kind of keep to ourselves. But, that's kind of like why we love what you all do.
Yeah.
And what we try to do as well is to share that testimony of a Black couple being, debt free and how awesome that could be and how freeing that is. Because I just think, it's not really talked about a lot. Well, in my background, it wasn't talked about a lot. So
yeah,
I think it's an awesome thing.
Yeah, we have definitely, we've taken the time to educate ourselves in the area of finance, and we're still, learning more, and we are happy to be able, to pass this knowledge on, to our kids and to those who may, view our YouTube page. So yeah, it's definitely meaningful.
It means a lot to us as well, too. I mean, we know that there are a lot of us out there that are debt free. We're millionaires. We're doing it. But I think that we don't see a lot of us, even though we're out there, we don't see a lot of us, and so I think that that's why it's important, even to Talon and I, we have this platform and it's for anybody. But we do take pride in our heritage, and we do take pride in, we're going to be some of the first in our family to be able to say, you know what, we own our home, and that's empowering to us.
It is.
And what I think the cool thing is too, is that there's no hating when you see a Black couple or someone doing it. A lot of times when, in our culture, there's a lot of that haterade right there. It's like, but I think it's a beautiful thing when we are able to celebrate each other. So.
Right.
I love you guys. I really, really do. When you guys emailed us, I'm like, I've never heard of them before. So I went to your YouTube channel and I'm just watching your videos and I'm smiling. And I was just so excited, like, that's what I'm talking about. Another couple, let's do this. So I love that. I think that if we can all come together and encourage each other and celebrate each other, I think that we'll go further for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
So you guys are debt free. I mean, 2-year incredible journey. What have you been able to do post debt freedom that you would have never been able to do had you still been shackled with all of that debt?
Well, it hasn't been that long.
Yeah, it's still kind of fresh, but
yeah, it's still kind of fresh. Ooh.
3 months?
Maybe 3 months?
Yeah, maybe about 3 months.
Yeah, it's still really new, but one of the things that we have been able to do is we're putting our son into private school, and so we're able to afford that. That's something that we wouldn't have even considered before, so we're really glad that he's going to be starting at a really good school, and we are starting college savings funds for our kids, and so just excited about that, and excited about our ability to now be able to save more for retirement. So that's
absolutely
great.
And one of the questions that we did not ask you guys, did you tell your family and friends about this journey that you guys wanted to become debt free, and how was their responses?
That's a good one. See, I'm the type of guy, like, while I'm going through it, I don't like to really advertise it. Because I spoke about it earlier. It might not be haters, but it's just kind of naysayers, or they may look at you like, oh, do you think you're more than, or I didn't want any of that. So we kind of kept it close to the vest while we were doing it, and then once we accomplished the goal, now we use it as a springboard, as a testimony, not like to boast or brag, but just to like share with others. So now we did tell our family once we actually met the goal, and it was like well received, and hopefully we encourage other family members to do the same.
Yeah, and we're having more interesting conversations with our family members and our relatives now that they've seen our YouTube page. So I know I had some nice conversations with a few of Marcus's aunts, and so like everybody in his family is married, which is really a blessing. And I'm kind of like the young buck, still kind of the person. You still, it's only been 10 years, and they have all these years.
I'm about to say, you got 10 years in the game. What you mean?
Right, right.
I'm up against like 30s, close to 40 year. Like we're still young, compared to a lot of his family. So, I had these women pull me in the kitchen. It's like, okay, I love your channel, but let me tell you, and so we just had a really, great conversation. So I'm glad that we kind of open the door, so we can talk about more things other than, how good the sweet potato pie is. We can, actually talk about, finances. And I'm learning from them, and, they're really appreciating the work that we're doing and the journey that we've started. So it's been good.
Speaking of your journey, I'm sure it had some ups and downs. You shared some of that, some twists and turns. Overall, what type of impact did this journey have on your marriage?
You want to go? Well, I just think it changed our conversation. Like I said before, early on in our marriage, like I was very, tunnel vision kind of, like, so I like to keep the bills paid. I'm making money. We were able to pay that bill that month, on to the next month. Whereas Shyra really loves goals. She's really goal oriented. And it's not that I didn't have goals. It's just that I really want to make sure our current situation is taken care of before I move on to the next one. But so there was some kind of, we kind of had some quarrels early on with that. But then when we decided to take this journey, now our goals were aligned, so it helped, less money arguments, because now we know we're shooting for this goal. Everything is pointing towards this end result. So
and one of the things that we did was we went to Walmart and we got these big, huge poster boards, or not like dry erase boards, whiteboards, and we put them on the wall, and then we wrote out our goals. So we talked about it and we wrote it out, and so every day it was kind of a visual reminder of things that we are not only, we're seeing it every day, but, kind of becomes ingrained in your psyche. You're thinking about it, you're praying about it, and so that definitely helped, and moving forward, now that we have the debt paid off, that's something that we continue to do. We continue to write on our boards and, and basically share our goals and visions in that way. And if there are any single people that are watching, I would like to say, like, goals are so attractive. Like, they are so attractive. You want a woman, get you some goals and they will come.
So true. I love that. So what has been the biggest life lesson that you guys learned throughout this entire journey?
I just learned that, if you set a goal and you're consistent in your process, that you can accomplish anything. There was times where I thought, man, this number is too big. Like, we're not going to do this. We've come far enough, But what I realized when finishing and when paying off the final payment is I can do it. I set a goal. We set the goal together, and we were actually able to accomplish it because we were consistent. So that's like a life lesson that really, rings true to me.
Yeah, consistency and patience, and then being willing to learn. Right. Because it was an area that we didn't know a whole lot about. And so the importance of just, educating yourself, not just, in regards to finances, but in other areas as well, to have a student kind of mentality.
Right.
Speaking of having a student mentality, you all said in the beginning that one of the first things you all did was you began to educate yourself and learn, and that propelled you forward on this journey. So are there some book recommendations that you would give out if somebody was trying to get that same level of knowledge in this area?
Yeah. So one of the things that I noticed in reading different books is that different authors will have different philosophies. And the good thing about that is we were able to pull different things, from each person. So I think the first book that we read was Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and that's by Robert Kiyosaki. And then we got Dave Ramsey's book, and we got Automatic Millionaire by David Bach. So we listened to that on audiobook. And the book that I'm reading now is called The Wealth Choice, and that's by Dennis Kimbrough. And I'm glad, happy to be moving into that area, because now that the debt is paid off, it's time to start thinking about wealth. And so the book so far has been really inspiring. Yeah, definitely. In that same vein, I'm reading Hip Hop to Homeowners by Jay Morrison. It's a really interesting book. He just, speaks about using real estate as a investment tool.
So it's really interesting, and along with the other books that Shire talked about, I think it's just good to get a broad perspective and then make your own personal, set your own personal finance strategy.
Absolutely. We totally agree with that. So speak to that person right now that may be listening, and they were a little discouraged in the beginning. They didn't really feel like they could do this, but after hearing your story, they think that maybe it's possible. So speak to that person right now and encourage them on this journey.
Yeah. So the thing that I would recommend is to not be discouraged by your present situation or your present circumstance, and to know that when you're facing different challenges or when you're on this journey, to just know that that it's all a part of the journey, to have ups and downs, and that it's not the end, of your story. And one of the things that I like to do is I like to listen to motivational speakers. And I thought of a quote by Les Brown, and he was talking about what to do, when you're at rock bottom. And the thing that he suggests, or that he says rather, is that if you can look up, you can get up. And so, my word of encouragement is just to keep going. Clarify that vision, and get clear goals, and to take actionable steps towards them, and you'll be able to accomplish your goal.
That's good. That's real good. My little 2 cents is just, keep it simple, less money out, more in, and every little bit counts. Every payment that you make towards that debt, you're getting one step closer to your goal. So there's no small amount. There's no, just stay encouraged, and you can do it. You can do it. If we can, anybody can. Yeah. That's how I look at it.
Good stuff. We know everybody wants to get connected to you guys. So tell them all about your YouTube channel and how they can stay connected to you.
Wow. Okay. Well, first of all, I just want to thank you guys for this opportunity.
Yes.
Our YouTube channel, our kind of movement that we've kind of, started is Black, Married, and Debt Free. On social media, it's just Black, Married, Debt Free, no and. But we're on YouTube, and we're just kind of organically wanted to just share our story and just kind of, do it in our way, really, really concise, short videos, little comedy in there. I'm a musician, so, there's music beds in there, and just a kind of a fresh delivery of the financial message to our age group, young married couples, not just African American, but that's who we are, so that's kind of why we titled it that. But we were so lucky in creating this to doing our research and find you all who are preaching a very similar message. And it's just a great thing, to see other couples doing it, and it's just encouraging to us. It's like, oh, we are kind of on the right track, Yes. So it's just feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Black, Married, Debt Free. And we're talking finance.
You guys definitely check them out. When I was watching them, it was almost like watching ourselves. It was like, oh, that's our brother and sister. Yeah. So you all check them out, subscribe to their channel, follow them. You all will love them.
Say it one more time.
Black, Married, Debt Free on YouTube. Just type that in the search browser and you'll find us.
Yep, and we'll definitely have all the links in the show notes as well.
Marques and Shyra, this has been incredible. Your story is amazing, and we're so glad that you all were able to take some time out of your busy schedule to share it with our audience today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.